Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutravashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beda Vivagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In the continuation of our discussion on the various mantras of Mundaka Upanishad, where the whole treatise started with Shaunaka, the Mahashala or the great Karmakandin, asking his master Angiras, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñāte Sarvamidam Vijñātam Bhavati. In which knowledge is residing the knowledge of everything. And this entire Upanishad is an answer towards that. And we are almost getting the last pada of the third Mundaka, where it is going to be discussing on the final aspects of instruction, plus sort of a Phalashruti also is included in it. To just recap what was the last three mantras of the previous pada, so that we have a continuity. The eighth mantra said, Na chakshusha grihyate napi vacha, na anyai deva tapasa karmanava, jnana prasadena vishuddha sattva, tatastu tam prasyanti, nishkalam dhyayamana. So what does it say? Na chakshusha grihyate, neither can the eye can grasp this reality which is being told till now, nor by the words, napi vacha. Na anyai deva. Deva here means it's the sense organs it is referring to. Anya deva means after having told about the eyes and the ears, the anya deva means the other forms of sense organs, both sense organs of the organs of knowledge and organs of action. Tapasa karmanava. Neither doing the severe austerities like Krishram Chandarayanam, which are torturing the body, or even the type of other tapas which is being mentioned in the Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Karmana, which includes all the Karma Kanda Vedas in the first part of the Purva Mimamsa, where the karmas have been dated. Even though the Mahashala Shaunaka has understood Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Brahma Nirveda Maya. So he is just reminding the student that neither those Upasana tapas which has been mentioned in the previous portion of the Upanishad, before the Upanishad, nor the karmas which are the prior to that, these cannot grasp what is being told as the nature of the reality, or what is the Dhyayamana Nishkalam. What is that? Nishkalam Pajan. What is that without any impurity, which has to be meditated upon? Here the dhyana is through which way he is explaining, saying that Jnana Prasadena, by the grace of knowledge, that is the dhyana he is talking about, not by the pranayamadi dhyana, which is mentioned in the yoga thing. Here he is talking about Jnana Prasadena Dhyayamana Nishkalam Pashyate. One can see that where Vishuddha Sattva, in the clear or in the purity of that mind, this will shine by itself. It is something which is prapta praptam. It is already there. But because of the avidya, we are not able to grasp it, because the avidya is so strong. The maya or the avidya or the kalmasham or the hridaya grandhi, avidya kama karma, which are holding our attention away from that awareness, our own true nature, that will shine by itself in the purity of the heart. Yeshaha anu atma, this subtle atma, anu here is to show that it is not graspable by the eyes nor by the words. Chetasa veditavya, it has to be understood or by the intellectual reasoning. In which way? Knowing that yasmin prana panjada samviveshaha pranay chittam sarvam odam pratyana. In this panchada, the pancha prana maintained body of ours, pranina, it is there in the oda prodam, it is there in the web and the woof, or it is spread throughout the body. There is no spot in our body where sensation do not happen, either inside or outside, or even from every nook and corner of the body. There is sensation which is happening. It can be sense of touch. It can be sense of, either by the sense organs, prana, that means which also can be of the sense organs. In all that, chetasa, by the intellectual analysis, this awareness which is spread throughout our body can be grasped. In yasmin vishuddha sattve vibhavanti esha atma. In that, it is not the object of sensation nor the sensation, but in which the object of sensation, the sensation and the knower of the sensation of the body, that part of the body, in all the three is shining, because the awareness and the existence of each one of them is clear when you look through your clear intellect, chetasa. Then as a corollary to that, he says, yam yam lokam manasa samvivati vishuddha sattva kamayate yamscha kaman tam tam lokam jayate tamscha kaman tasmad atmajam hi archayet bhuti kama. Here it may appear that it is an instruction to do the puja to the atmajnani, or the one who has known it. But we can also take as a inner meaning or a corollary meaning for the same thing, that here the Bodhikama, those who desire the object of creation, when there is only one, how can there be a Bodhikama separate from the Brahmavit or the knower? Here then the separation is between yam yam kama id. Because of our desire, that Brahmajnani and those who are not knowing the truth are segregated only because of the ignorance. The stuff or the matter or the reality of both of them are not different. Tam tam, those who are thinking that they are separate, then they have no choice but to do a follow-up, or the archayet here need not physically do the puja, the karma, but here the archana is to keep following with the Brahmajnani for the beautiful words which falls out of his mouth as he's experiencing, when he is experiencing and narrating his own experience. Because what he talks is about truth only. What comes out as his experience is his experience of the truth, because he is none other than the truth or the absolute Brahman himself. So by being in the presence of such a person, you get the reality as your own experience, and thereby you know that you are everything. So the Bodhikama means you are here, you have become the creator of your own karma by the service of such a Brahmajnani. And then into the final pada of the Tritiya Mundaka Pradama Dvitiya Kanta, the first mantra goes like that. Saveda etad brahmam paramam brahmadama yatra vishwam nihitam bhadi shubram upasade purusham yehi amakamaha te shukram etad ativartandi dhira. Savete etad, he knows that etad paramam brahma dhamma, that supreme Dhamman or abode of Brahman, or that statehood of Brahma, yatra vishwam nihidam bhadi shubram, where the entire Vishwam means the Vibhutvad Vishwam or Vishnu, all those names are or the synonyms of that, the vastness of experience. The world is nothing but experience. It is not the object which make the world vast. It is the experience of the object make the Vishwam. And therefore, Nihidam Vadi, it is appear to be hidden in every object because the object shines by itself by as pure awareness and existence. The name and form on that object is a creation of the mind which is in the clutch of or in the grasp of ignorance. Thereby we think the name and form and the adjectives appearing on the surface level is the reality. But for those things to appear, the basic existence and awareness of the object is must. Therefore, that is in the form of Purusha. And that because there is no Purusha, Purnat Purusha, you can say that, because every atom of the world is a object or in the form of existence and awareness, giving the shining awareness through its own existence. So, the one which is Akama, Edat Shubram, Edat Shukram Adivartandi. This Akama Dhira, the wise who is Akama, becoming desireless of anything other than that. See, Kama basically is the desire part, which we'll be discussing more in the next mantra. So, one who becomes a desireless crosses over the Shukram here shows the word meaning is Shukram is the seed. But here is a reference to the, the changing nature of desires, and which includes the cause and effect for the birth and the rebirth, and all those things are coming from that. Because it is the desires, agami sanchita prarabdha karmas, which is the result of our kamas or the desires, which makes the jiva to take birth and again as per the Shruti. So if you want to stop the cycle of metempsychosis or the birth again and again, you need to cross over the limitations of the ignorance which is making you desire things again. So therefore, the wise one knows that it is my desire to enjoy and indulge in the world of objects makes me come again and again. Therefore, I have to become akama, means desireless. So one who becomes desireless is the one who will cross over that, and then he sees the nihidam, and he can see that time. See, the kama we have to understand in such a way that the desire comes from a misapprehension. If we know the truth, reality of a substance, that reality is not different from us. And when something is not different from us, there is no desire to acquire or indulge. This is what is called avidya kama karma, which is called the hridaya granthi or the knots in the heart, which is creating the duality and therefore the desires. So one who crosses over that, or one who understands it, for him, the whole world becomes not objects of desire, but objects of the reality in the form of Brahman. Therefore, he gets Sarvam Khalidam Brahma as his experience, which is not different from his own, because Aham Brahmasmi also. So both these can happen only when the Kama is controlled or Kama is no more there as a part of our existence. To explain that, he says the next mantra. Kaman yak kamayade manyamanaha sakama vijayate tatra tatra paryapta kamasya kritatmanastu ihaiva sarve previliyanti kamaha. Kaman, the desirables, the objects of desires. One who desires that kamayate, manyamanaha, constantly thinking about them. What? About the kaman, the objects of things. Along with kamabhihi, with the desirables, jayate tatra tatra. Why? So here is what, if you can recollect our dreams, what happens in the dream is the desires to have certain experiences, we create it in our dream, we become the dreamer to enjoy the dream. Therefore, the objects in the dream is created by my desire, and to enjoy the desire, I also become the dreamer in the dream. The world of waking is not different from that. The world, we think that the world is created by somebody else. No, it is our desire to engage and indulge in the desired objects makes you a part of the objects which you want to enjoy and desire. For each one, it is a different world. So my world is created by my desires. In your world, each one of your world is created by your desires. We may have a commonality whereby we may think that some objects are desired by sharing this thing. But what in reality happening is that if an object is of desire of mine and I am enjoying, that is my object or the object of mine. But you may see it in a different way. That is why the same object becomes desirable to somebody and undesirable to somebody. If the object had any quality of desire and undesirable, it should be having the same for both. But even in a shared world, when the same object is being experienced by two different people, the nature of experience or the that indulgence is of different nature. Therefore, the world which I am enjoying is my desired objects. I'm not talking about from the physicality of the creating the metallic part or the physicality of the quality or the desireness or desirefulness or to indulging nature of mind with the object is what is making the object exist. If nobody is there to desire anything or not liking, nobody will know the existence of such an object. It comes in the form of either likes or dislikes. Both can make the object exist. But an object which is neither likable or dislikable cannot be seen by anybody else. This is what happens to when an object is in its own pure nature, when it is neither desired by an object or disliked by anybody. That object is not perceivable by anybody, because if we want to see objects through our desires. The desire is the one which we are seeing the object. Actually, the object is not what we are seeing. Object has got a reality of existence and awareness only. But what we see the object is our desire reflected on the object. This one is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, 70th shloka. Apuryamana machala pradishtam samudramapas pravishanti yadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve yap shanti mapnodi sa kamakami vihaya kamanya sarva bhutans charanti nispraha nirmamo nirahangaro sa shantim adivgachanti. Then he is concluding that with that esha brahmi stira partha nainam prapya mukhyati Stitva syatman antakale api Brahma nirvana mrichati. So that Brahma nirvana mrichati is what is explained in the second part of this goddess. Paryapta kamasya kritatmanastu. What one who has paryapta kama, fulfillment, he has no more desires. When he has understood the nature of desires and he has done with his desires, so he becomes kritatmana. He is one who has understood the reality of nature. So for him, there is nothing more to be done to achieve his kamas or nothing forcing him to work for indulgence, and then therefore paryapta kama becomes the kritatmana. And he is the nature of true Atman. He has no more desires in. ihaiva sarve praviliyanti. For such a person, the world itself becomes a dissolved world. With word, the kamas have been dissolved. There is no more desire separate from the world which is seeing. The world he sees not as a desirable object, but as his own reflection. This is explained by in the Mundaka Upanishad, in the Agama Prakarana 9th mantra, 9th Karika. Gaudapada says, Bhogartam srishtiridhyanye kridartam madi chapare. Devasya esha swabhavo aptakamasya kaspriha. So this word Devasya esha swabhava aptakamasya kaspriha, that is the most important line of the second line. What does it say there? This nature in which we are seeing the world, it is the nature of swabhava of the object. Not knowing it is the nature of the Deva. Deva means here we can say the Ishvara or the creator, or the objects itself, which is not different from the created one. The pot is not different from the mud, or the ornament is not different from the gold. So, when you know that is the Swabhava is what? That when it is removed from any object, the object becomes null and void. Like the light and heat, if you remove from a fire, the fire doesn't exist anymore. Same way, if the existence and awareness, if you take out from an object, there can be no object. So what is the Swabhava of every object? It is the existence and awareness. And that is Devasyayasha. It is the nature of the Deva, means here Dyotana Deva. It is the awareness which is exhibiting itself as Swabhava. One who knows that, he becomes a Aptakama. Aptakama means one who has fulfilled, he knows that there is no more desire to be done because it is not different from me. Aptakamasya kaspriha. Where can be a desire arising in his mind when he knows that he is everything and it is his own reflection which he is seeing as objects which is not different from him. So such a person is the one Kritatma, one who has satisfied in his own nature. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, in the Brihadaranya again says that. All those shows what is that this is because all those things what is happening is because we are not knowing the true reality. So then the next mantra, the third mantra, the teacher is almost concluding into the saying that now I have told you all the reasons for it and everything, but understand that Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha na medaya na bahuna shrutena yam eva vrunute tena labhya tasya yesha atma vrunute tanum swa. This is the same mantra we studied in the Kathopanishad. What Yama told Nachiketa, here Angira says the same thing to Mahashala Shaunaka. Because ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. The truth is only one. They may tell it in the Kathopanishad, they may tell it in Mundaka Upanishad or Muṇḍaka Upanishad, wherever it is. The truth is only one. They can explain it in different ways, but when it comes towards the final truth, it is only one way they can say that. What is that? This Atma, I am Atma, na pravachanena labhya. Not through discourses or nor by vachana. Pravachana can be also say that it can pragashtena vachanam. Vachanam can be taken as Vedas or instructions. Pravachanena, one by hearing the repeated discourses on the truth, by hearing the teaching from many times, or from the repeated hearing again and again. Nalabhyaha. It is not a product or an object or a knowledge which can be achieved by hearing again and again. Na medaya na bahuna srutena. Bahuna srutena. In the many of the other texts, Shruti Vakyas, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayanam, or any of the Shrutis which are there, many types, there also this truth is being expounded by the teachers or those who are expounding this. Na shrutena, na medhaya, nor by remembering them. Meda here is the intelligence which has a capacity or the storage from where you can pratyabhijna can be brought again. That is that you can store from the meda, from the inventory of your memory. You can quote the same Shruti Vakyas or the Shruti Smriti Purana Vakyas. And all of them, you may be able to talk like a parrot or a tape recorder or a repeating equipment. But it cannot be stored in the intelligence just by that. That doesn't mean that you have the knowledge of the Atma. This can be, he says repeatedly again, same way as it is told by Yama. Yam eva esha brunute tena labhyaha. To him only this will be accessible or aware this thing. Only such a person will know that Tasya esha atma vrunute tanum swam. This is a light which has to shine by itself. So please understand that this is an object not of a desire, where the desire can make you do that. Janadi ichchati yatate. When you know something, you can work towards, you can have a desire for that, and then you can work for that to acquire it. Now, this is something which cannot be come into the category of janadi ichchati, because this is not an object. Nor is it an object which can be grasped by the intellect as a memory of information, nor by going to multiple times where you remember or recollect the vakyas like aham brahmasmi, sarvam khalidam brahma, prajnanam brahma, tattvamasi. All those words you may rant it or repeat it as a skilled intellectual person. But has it become your own nature? No. For becoming the knowledge to become the knowing has to become your being. For that, Atma Vivrunute Tanum Swam. This Atma, which is there in each and every one of us at this now, is like a light which is covered by a pot. The pot is our desires and our ignorance. The moment that is broken, that pot is removed, the light doesn't have to be grasped or attained. It will shine forth itself through the body. Every nook and corner, right now, this body is exhibiting that only, awareness only. But we are not able to understand it because we are clouding it. Our understanding is clouded with the desires and the notions which we have in mind. That is the meta, which I say that where we have the memory of how it can be or how it should be. It is not a notion which we can think about. It is not something which you should be thinking that it is not a object of kalpana or mental imagination, where it can be like that, because of which so many people have gone astray, thinking that it is a sudden light coming in the type of meditation, or it is like a big side, like a juicy honey, sugar amrita flowing through the, when you are doing the Sirusha, Sahasrara, Kundalini, all that type of different imaginations people are going into it. But Atma is not that. It is Swayam. Swam Tanum Vivrunute. In the nature, by nature itself, nature is to exhibit itself. When it is exhibiting, we are not able to grasp it. Pratibodha viditam matam. Every bodham is showing only that. Every experience is giving us the indication. Don't look at the experience. Don't look at the experiencing. Don't look at the experiencer. There is a substratum for the three to exist. That it is showing as a substratum. When we are seeing a movie, we are seeing the movie, enjoying movie. We are not seeing the screen. Same way, the substratum of the three, experiencer, experience, and the experience is all the time, and it is swam tanum svivrunate. Its nature is to exist and shine. But how can we not see it? Because of our preconditions of the mind. Now here is one thing which we have to understand, that if the nature of Atma is to shine by itself, why is it that I am not able to understand it? Or why am I not able to grasp it? Because we have preconditions that Atma should be like this, Atma should be like that, or I will experience Atma as an experience of any other experience. All these things are blockages for that. When you remove all those conditions which you have put with your imagination, it shines by itself. Swayam swam trunudri. Self, it is self, effulgent in nature. That self-effulgence is there every time. Otherwise, we do not exist. Our existence and awareness is the proof that we are that. But we are not able to, appreciate that because of our imagination or our conditioning mind saying that this is how it is. How did it happen? Shankaracharya in his Adhyasa Bhashya for the first sutra of the Brahma Sutra is explained, and then he is explained in many other places also. Anyonya Dhyasa. We superimpose the awareness and intelligence on the intellect. Buddhi. Manasa Buddhi. And then thinking that Manas and Buddhi thinks I am the one, I am the body, or I am the Atma. Actually the awareness of the mind and intellect is of the Atma. And then whatever happens to the mind and the body and the intellect, which is of the nature of inert Jada or the non-Atma, we superimpose on our nature, which is the real awareness and the existence, saying that I am the one who is getting happy, I am the one who is becoming sorrow, etc. How does this happen? It is because Upadhi Vedat. Now what is an Upadhi? Upadhi is that without contaminating the mere presence of it, it takes on the qualities of the other one. For example, next to a prism, if we keep a red flower, the hibiscus, Japa Kusumam is the example which is there in the Shruti. The crystal becomes red in color in the presence of a red flower or a red cloth or something red. The redness of the prism is not of the redness of the prism, but it is redness of the Upadhi which is by the side. The nature of clarity of the prism of pureness is never seen as long as the Upadhi is by the side. So same way, as long as we see this happening, that the presence of mind and intellect when it is in operation, we are not able to be our own nature or the pure awareness. Because always the mind and intellect will assume the nature of the awareness. When the mind and intellect is not in operation, we are in pure awareness. This is what happens in our sushupti or in the deep sleep, or we abandon our body and mind and intellect, which is after throwing away the body, we are again that only. But that we cannot explain because we are not going to come back. But every day, the nature is going back to its own pure nature. And when it is taking the upadhi of the mind and the buddhi, we start feeling we are the body again. So this is the nature in which it is working. And this is what is called the avidya grandhi. That avidya is not in the awareness, it is in the buddhi. But when the buddhi or the mind or the intellect says that I am the Atma, or looking from that point of view, then whole thing becomes that I am the buddhi says I am the whole, I am the one who is aware of everything. This type of superimposition of one's quality on another is the root cause for all those things. Once you remove that is why you have to kritatmanastu, apta kama you have to be. The kama is only in the mind and the intellect. When you clean the mind with all the desires or no desires, and when it is in pure appreciating everything in its own pristine nature, that is the time when you see the nature of reality in everything. then he becomes an aptakama. He has no more spriha, mean no more desire. Such a person becomes, for in his nature, this Atma Vivrude Tan Swam. Then his Atma, or the Atma is the one which he is nature. He knows that. Then only he knows that. To explain that, he takes some more steps in the next mantra. Nayamatma Balahina Labhyaha Nacha Pramadat Tapaso Vapi Dengat Etai Upayai Yatate Yastu Vidwan Tasya Yesha Atma Vishate Brahmadhama. Here he is bringing some more examples of that. To whom does this Atma become a reality? Na balahina. Here the balam is not the muscular strength what he is talking about. Here is the balam of the individuality to get out of the pangs of desire and the avidya. See, to break the bondages of avidya, kama, karma, hridaya grandhi, you have to break the ignorance. To break the ignorance, muscular power is not enough. Muscular power will not give you the break. You cannot break away your ignorance. That balahinatum, or the bala, what he is talking about is that strength to detach yourself from the attractions of the world outside, indulgence from the world outside, and to realize that what is the ignorance with which I am getting entangled into it. Once you can break the bondages of the ignorance, that is what is called the balam. And the balahina is the one who doesn't have the bala. So to him, or to those who cannot break the bondages of the avidya, ayam atma na balahina labhyaha. Na pramada tapaso. Pramada we discussed in the last thing. One is pramada is with which the delusions takes place. The delusions is thinking that the unreal things as real is what is called the pramada. And those who are doing tapas, thinking that by doing austerities, by starving themselves, or by doing pranayama, or doing all type of mental torture or physical torture, those are all called tapasa. Va api lingat. Not even by the linga here is identification which is given in the Upanishad. Satya Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So what is that? These are all integrative words. They are not linga or the identification for the Brahma. So many people get stuck in these type of words, in saying that apani pato javano grahida pasyatya chakshusya shrunotya karna, or aviktam arupam avyayam. These words appear to be lingam or identification for Brahma. No, they are all indicative of that. Etai upayai etate yastu vidwan. The vidwan who knows that these upayai are only processes, but they are not divulging the nature of Atma. Tasya yesha Atma vishate brahmadhamam. To him, the one who knows that these things are all processes for clarifying his own ignorance or getting out of the clutches of the avidya. To him, tasya yesha, for him, the Atman vishate enters, and he becomes the one with the Brahma. Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. He becomes one with the Brahma. Such a person only knows that reality, and that reality is not apart from his own reality. When he is divided of all desires, even to desire to know Brahma is a desire. Because you don't have to. You are this moment, very moment that. So why should you have a desire to that? All desires are hindrances. Whatever pure or, the nature you want to extol that. Anything what is other than that substratum or the awareness is in the list of avidya or the ignorance. So one have to really see that it is so close or so nature of ours, so true to us. We are that at the moment time, yet we are not able to have that knowledge or that conviction that we are that. That Dehatma Buddhi, the identification with the mind and the Buddhi is so much that the reflection of our own reflection in the mirror, like the narcissist, thinking that that is the reality, we are identifying with our mind and intellect that we are that. Really speaking, every human is a narcissist because they think they are the body, the mind and the intellect. This type of a misconstrued identity to the mind and the body and the intellect is the reason why we are not able to get our vision out of the reflection on the mind through the mind and intellect to the one which is reflecting in it. So only to such a person, Atma pravachanena labhya, na pravachanena labhya, na medaya bhuna sutena. The next mantra onwards, I will take it in the next class because they go together. Fifth and sixth is basically Vidaraga Prashanta, Sarvagadam, Sarvagam, Sarvata Prapya, Dhira, Yaktamana. All those things. The fifth and sixth mantra onwards till the 11th mantra is a continuation which is in the form of a Phalashruti. So having understood that how we can achieve this or how this is possible, the Upanishads wants us to understand that all type of misnomers which we have or misidentification or misideas in our brain is there. That is the blockage for us from understanding. We are that this very moment, but our ideations or notions are the blockages. That is what is to be removed. So I stop here. We will continue in Friday's class, which will be the last class for this Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada. Thank you all.